Those hands, let me see those hands, let me see those hands, let me see those hands.
Hey, are we ready? Listen, this is the moment. We are here for Slick. We want to hear. We want to hear the secrets of Slick right now. Yeah. Hey. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming out and supporting the secret line of Atlanta. Even though right now we are in Philly, represent for Philly all day. But I am Shelly Williams, Philly's Oprah, executive producer of Urban Expressions, the longest video show in Philadelphia, and I had the honor of interviewing Slick the King to find out how slick you really are. Let's go,
Real slick.
So, I mean, your mom was in the building, your friends are in the building, so I want to take it back to childhood before we start. All right, Slick, what did you want to be when you grow up, and are you doing that now?
Okay. The practical thing that I wanted to be first was a lawyer because they always say I ran my mouth. But to be honest, I grew up watching the videos, Urban Expressions, BT. I grew up watching the Oscars, watching the red carpet, and it was always a big event in my household to watch the American Music Awards with Diana Ross and Michael Jackson, and I just always wanted a part of that red carpet life, and I'm getting it.
You're doing it though. You know what, right now we're on the red carpet.
Right.
So, right for you. So, who was that person when you said, I'm watching all this? Who's that person you say, you know what, I like what they do, and I want something similar? Not them, because you are the originals. But who was that one person?
I think it was more or less a combination of people. Anybody in the 80s who grew up loving Michael Jackson, that was like number one. Oprah Winfrey was a big inspiration to me because not only did she do the talk show thing, but she also was an actor. And I always had a love for film and television and dreamed of being, on the screen one day. So I looked up to Oprah, looked up to Michael Jackson. My mom watched Donahue a whole lot. So I watched him talk about difficult topics. A lot of times now I go back to YouTube and watch some of those shows. It should be things that we are discussing today. And just those are some of my inspirations: Donahue, Oprah, and Michael Jackson.
I love those inspirations, but you talk about the dream coming to reality. You are a blogger, you're a media personality, an actor, and now what? An author. So the dream has come to reality, it's fruition right now. So tell us how you became a blogger. How did you become a blogger, and what was that journey like?
Okay, that's always an easy question for me, and especially today, because the thing that inspired me the most was in this room. It was the people in this room. When I went to Atlanta, I went there as a call center representative, and I had no intentions, or I put all these dreams to bed. And somehow, Atlanta's a crazy place, but somehow I started to get on these lists of these publicists. And I started to get invited to reality show tapings. I started to get invited to like different events, and they just kept sending it. And I turned to my family and I said, what is God trying to tell me? Because I had gave up on acting, I had gave up on so many things. I said, I just want to have a good life. And talking to my family, I said, but why am I being placed in these rooms? You go to church, they always say, God's going to put you in rooms that you don't think you're qualified for. And I asked my family, and when we were all talking, they said, well, maybe you should offer this service to them. You know how to do this, and you know how to do that. But then my partner, Patrick, said, maybe your gift is to get them, the people who can't get into that room, into the room. And I said, well, how do I do that? And I looked at my inbox, and everybody was saying, Teran, what's going to happen on Housewives of Atlanta, and what's going to happen on this, and what's going to happen on that. And I had answers for them because I was there with Phaedra, and I was there with Portia, and I knew what was going to happen on the season from the events I was going to. And I said, let me just tell them. You know, I had a friend that was a blogger, and I started it, and the name Slick Talk came from the Future song. I love it, Stick Talk. You know, and when I had to come up with a name, I said, well, let's find something a little more suits me, and we went on Slick Talk. Slick Talk for real started to be entertainment blog.
Now everybody knows who Slick Talk is. Everybody
Right.
knows who Slick the King.
Right.
Put that crown on. That's right, Slick the King.
Right.
Now you have a radio show, right?
Well, the radio show, we ended it for now, but we're going to bring it back more or less as an Instagram live because it was so many. We got so many quality guests. Me and Jay, we had like some really big celebrities like Tawanda Braxton, Johnny Blaze. We were getting so many good people, but the platform we were on, it only could hold so many people. So we're going to bring it back on Instagram Live.
Absolutely. So you mentioned in there, you said you gave up on acting. You were giving up. What was it in there that made you give up? Was it the struggle? What made you give up? And when you got over the struggle, how can you tell people how to do that themselves?
Okay. For one thing, I always wanted to be normal, what they say normal. I always was a little extra, you know? I always wanted that. My brother's laughing. I always wanted to be a part of the entertainment industry. And I always loved the arts, but I was always looking around and saying, well, this friend found their niche, and this neighbor found their niche, but why I can't find my niche? And one day my mom said to me, like, you're not gonna find that niche in the normal. She said, you are a free spirit, and you keep trying to fit yourself into a space that don't fit you. You know what you wanna do, you just gotta do it any means necessary. And if that means you might be short on cash sometimes, you might be struggling, but if that's what you want to do with your life, you're going to have to do it. And I followed that advice and I did.
Great advice. Mom be dropping.
Yeah,
dropping gems. She got it. But we are here to talk about you as an author. So you say, hey, I found my niche. Now I'm a blogger. I can talk about the reality shows. But now you want to write a book about the secret lives of Atlanta. Yeah, snitches get stitches. How you just going to be doing that? How are you going to just spill all this tea? Aren't you reaching some opposition over here? Because, yeah, I mean, you know what it is.
Well, the thing is, one of the things that I wanted to let people know was that you see stuff on TV and you see things on social media, you see people's social media posts, and everything looks fabulous. But just like someone on the panel said, in real life, it don't be that way. And for me, being on the set of reality shows a lot, I get to see it. I get to see what they're trying to put together to make them look like they have something. I've been at showcases that really aren't showcases. Nobody really came out to see the person, but they kind of like bribe you in. So that was one of the things that I wanted to get people to see, is that all that glitters is not gold. Like, you're comparing yourself to something that really don't exist. You know, you're happy, let's say you have trouble with weight. These people are getting BBLs, you know, they got on everything they can to keep everything sealed in. So it's like we're always trying to chase what's on social media, and it's totally different in real life. So
it's totally different in reality shows. So the reality show says this. So now you're actually out here helping people, the younger generation. Listen, it's not always what it seems, but you're telling them people right now. You telling them that, like, I'm not really that fabulous. Somebody had to say, you said you was chilling with Phaedra and the rest of them chicks, right? So I know somebody had to come up, like, telling my business like that. Why are you telling them that this ain't real, right?
honestly, I feel like I tell the people who didn't read the book yet, some of it is based off of real, that happened in Atlanta. But I think I changed it enough that it's not really one person's story. It's a lot of people's story. Atlanta is the new Hollywood. It is Black Hollywood. More productions happen in Atlanta than in Hollywood. So what we got to remember is a lot of people come there with a lot of dreams and they want to, meet that level of stardom, but it doesn't happen. And the honest thing is that when you read the book, people do some strange things for change when they're trying to get on. They have past. Atlanta's the home of the scammer. It's people do scamming just to get the clothes that you see on TV. So I just wanted, if I'm gonna write a book about Atlanta, I wanted it to be the real Atlanta. And that's what it is. It's two sides to every story in Atlanta, and it's two sides to every character in the book.
So as a Philly native, don't you think Philly might be like, oh, why you highlighting Atlanta? You're from Philly,
Well, one of the things about the book is, even though it does take place in Atlanta, the main characters are from Philly. So we do a lot of talking about Philadelphia in the book. The characters do a lot of flashbacks to Philadelphia, and it does have that Philadelphia hometown feel. Even though they are in Atlanta, it focuses a lot on, just like myself, somebody being picked up from Philly and dropped in the middle of the reality TV world. So.
All right, so let's talk about the characters. What character are you? Which one is most like you? Who is it? Tell us.
A lot of people have said that I remind them of the character Charles, the blogger. What I feel is I'm in a little bit of everywhere, every character. The main two characters, Veronica and Erica, have a very close relationship with their grandmother who passed away. And for me, a lot of times the foundation of a lot of Black families is the grandmother. And I thought that was so important to put that in the book, because a lot of times we know once the grandmom passes away, sometimes things fall apart a little bit. So I wanted to make sure I focused on that. I think I'm in almost every character there is. There's a lot of sibling rivalry, and I rivaled him all through childhood. I don't think the rivalry between Veronica and Erica would have been able to be written without my brother already, because it's very close.
It's very close. All right, brother. All right. So, growing up in Philly, right? How did you get to this point? Meaning, how did you know how to do some of the things you did? Or was it something you had to learn? Was it natural? What is it?
I believe it was through encouragement. I think it was always there a little bit. I did a lot of acting at Freedom Theater. I studied writing and script writing at Drexel University. I didn't know whether that's the path my life was going to go. I just knew that's where I wanted it to go. But I always worked hard at different jobs so that I could support myself. But basically, that's it.
That's it. So with this book, who do you want to reach? What is it that you want to do? Who do you want them what do you want them to come away with from this book?
That's a good question. More than anything, it would be just knowing when you're navigating through people and trying to make your way through this world, that nobody is cut and dry. A lot of times we want to put people in categories and say, okay, this is the good friend, this is the bad friend, stay away from her, whatever the case may be. But there's two sides to every coin. No one is all good and no one is all bad. That was important for me to make the characters as real as possible, because I wanted them to be redeemable. I didn't want you to totally hate anybody or totally love anybody. I wanted you to be able to see what made them tick and why they would do the things that they do. So coming from reading this book, more than anything, I want them to enjoy it, but also just to kind of see people from a different light, to know, you may have had a bad situation with your sibling or a friend, but they probably had a reason why they did what they did.
Yeah, right? So let's get into the secret life first. All right, let's do the secret life, all right?
Okay.
So what's the one thing that nobody knows that's in the book that they don't know and you hid it in the book, but now you want to tell them that it's really you? Is there something in there? Go and tell them. Because I want to get to the secrets.
I'm trying to see. I think everybody who knows me pretty much, I'm pretty open about things. I'm trying to think. What would be something that's a secret about me in the book? I don't really think there was anything in there that they didn't already know. You know? So.
Oh, okay, everybody know. Everybody know everything, but maybe somebody out there in the world don't know. Maybe somebody in the world don't know. We want to know what that thing is that slick like. You know what I mean? Only my close friends know. What's somebody in the world that want to know?
You didn't stop me.
This is a game show.
I would say pretty much the same thing. I'm a person that is very happy-go-lucky. I am always congenial, I think. I like for people to have a good time. But, again, with me, the people who know me know that there is a little darker side. And there's a flip side to everybody. So, you know, nothing I would say that's literal. I would think it would be more figurative.
All right, so let's talk about family life. What's your family life like? You got a boo, you got a, you know what I mean? You got some kids. What you got?
No kids. I got nieces and nephews that I'm very close to. My niece is over there. She probably don't want me to point her out, but Elijah. I was lucky enough for me and my brother. We share a lot of things, and he allowed me to share in the raising of her. So she's a big part of my life. Like I said, I do have a partner, Patrick. We've been together for 17, 18 years. And as far as my family, I'm very close to my family. I have a ton of cousins, and, you know, that I love. But my mom and dad, they left they just ingrained a lot in me as far as hard work. And my mom worked all the time. My father worked overtime galore, and just always told me the value of getting out there and making a life for yourself. My grandparents were a big part. I just had a very blessed life when it comes to my family and also my friends. My friends play a big part of my life too. You know, I have a lot of siblings, but then I have even more when I count my best friends.
Amazing. So what are you saying, 18 kids? What's the secret to staying together with somebody 18 kids?
To know it's not going to be perfect. To know that your partner is a person too. That you're going to have to put in work. You know, that you're going to not always agree. And you just got to be able to come back to ground zero. People always say our grandparents used to stay married, but our grandparents worked at staying married. It wasn't always perfect. And right now we live in a microwave society where as soon as somebody does something that says, oh, I'm out. It's not like that. And you know, as a married person, and you know, you have married friends, you have single friends. Sometimes even your married friends, when something is going wrong, they want to tell you, oh, you might as well go in and leave. That's not the advice. That's not reality. You're going to have issues. If you can't deal with issues, then don't even get into a relationship.
Right, don't have your running shoes going right to the door. Like, yes, I'm ready to go. So, speaking like Atlanta, right? What more do you want from it? Is it going to be a movie? Are you going to create your own reality show around it?
Well, one of the things that everybody keeps saying is this going to be a mini-series? Is this going to be a TV show? From everybody's lips to God's ears, I have already worked on a treatment for a reality show that's kind of related to the reality show that's in the book, but that would be more of a reality competition show. So I'm trying to work on that. I would like to see it shot for maybe like a pilot and just shop it around and see where it's going to go. But this is not the only Secret Lives of Atlanta book. When I originally wrote it, I mapped out not only more books under that brand, but also like all reality shows. You watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, but you also watch Potomac, right? You watch Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, but you watch New York. So this is going to keep going. I'm going to keep writing, and we're going to keep spinning off characters into other books. I feel like the sky's the limit with this, the way I set it up.
It's no limit. Actually, listen. So somebody in here, the Secret Life of Philly, somebody business about to be in a book, right? So you're on tour with the book. Are you going all around, or where's pushing next stop?
The plan is to maybe do a stop down south, either North Carolina or Atlanta or both. Both. I was actually invited to be on the Black Authors Matter tour in South Africa, but this was at the same time. Next year, in 2023, I will be doing that, and they're also working under that brand, working on a Washington D.C. stop for me as well.
Oh, amazing! So we all have a bucket list, a thing that when you're doing amazing things, you got the TV, the radio, the thing, you doing it all, right? So what's on your bucket list that you say, listen, before anything, I gotta make sure this is done for my life?
Okay, I would say two things. One would be to actually produce a TV show, that one of those books become either